So in this part. Okay, so that is the functional group of alcohol. Diri mahitabo mostly ng reaction niya. Okay? But some of the reactions ng alcohol, it involves the hydrogen atoms attached to the OH-bearing carbon. Okay? Again, there are some reactions na ga-involve pod sa mismong hydrogen atoms, okay, that is carried by a beta carbon to be specific. Let's say, for example, ethanol. Diba, ethanol is CH3, CH2OH. There are cases nga aside from this part, sa mismong functional group, mahitabo ang reaction, na ay cases nga mag-involve pod also sa mismong hydrogen ng naka-attach sa beta carbon. Okay? How do you identify the beta carbon? Okay. Yung carbon that carries the functional group, that is the alpha carbon. Again, the carbon that carries the functional group for any compound, once that carbon carries a functional group, that is considered the alpha carbon. The next carbon after alpha is the beta carbon. Okay? So what I mean earlier sa akong statement na ay mga reactions nga ga-involve also on this hydrogen. Okay? Ga-involve sa hydrogen atom being attached to the beta carbon, to the carbon next, no, to the alpha carbon. Okay? Now, one of the most common important reaction among alcohols is oxidation. Okay? In general, kung moingon tag oxidation, that is simply adding oxygen, removal of hydrogen. Mo gyud na siya ang ga-involve sa oxidation reaction. Adding oxygen, remove hydrogen. Okay? Well, for alcohols, oxidation mainly occurs at the functional group OH. Okay? So, dito yun, mahitabo ang oxidation sa OH portion sa mismong functional group ng alcohol. However, naay condition. Okay? Naay condition para for that alcohol nga mag-undergo og oxidation reaction. Okay? In order for the reaction to proceed, dapat yung carbon bearing the OH must have an available hydrogen. Okay? So let's say for ethanol, ang carbon bearing the OH na aman siya available hydrogens directly naka-attach ani niya, maka-proceed siya og oxidation. Oxidation may happen. Okay, so not all alcohols do undergo oxidation. Okay, so ang consideration, dapat ang carbon bearing the OH must have an available hydrogen atoms. Now, I have discussed to you the classification of alcohols, diba? We have primary, secondary, and tertiary. Now, based on your knowledge, kung paminaw ba yun sa akong discussion, which among the three classes do not have hydrogen anymore na naka-attach sa carbon? Alpha carbon, very good. It is the tertiary alcohol. In short, among the classes of alcohols, only tertiary alcohol do not undergo oxidation. Only primary and secondary alcohol. So we will only be learning the oxidation reaction of primary and secondary alcohols. Okay? Now, in oxidation of alcohols, they are also known as chromic acid oxidation. Okay? Kung moingon gid kag kanang alcohol na oxidize, that process may also be termed as chromic acid oxidation. Why? That is because the most common, okay, nga agent, okay, oxidizing agent na ginamit for oxidation of alcohol is chromic acid. Okay? Chromic acid, this is usually produced via reacting potassium dichromate with sulfuric acid. Okay? So, ang common nga reagent nga ginagamit in oxidizing alcohol is a strong oxidizing agent in a form of chromic acid. Okay? Chromic acid, that is H2CrO4. How do we produce chromic acid? Simply combine dichromate, potassium dichromate with sulfuric acid. So that is the reagent. Kung makita na nimo na ay alcohol, then kana dayon nga reagent. Ipa-identify mo sa type of reaction, chromic acid oxidation, or simply write oxidation. Okay? Another thing, oxidation of alcohols may also be referred as Jones test. Okay? Jones test, okay, kapag, wala man din nakasulat. Okay? Jones test if yung ginamit nga reagent is a Jones reagent. Unsa may component sa Jones reagent? Jones reagent is also an oxidizing agent. Okay, particularly this composes chromic trioxide, okay, in sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid that is dissolved, okay, in acetone. Mo ni siya usually ang component ng Jones reagent. Okay? So, Jones test, oxidation din yan ng alcohols. Okay? Other oxidizing agent used in oxidation is potassium dichromate. Not dichromate, potassium permanganate. Okay? Potassium, that is a very common, di ba? Nga strong oxidizing agent. Okay? In oxidation of alcohols. So, again, reagents nga pwede mag-oxidize ng alcohol is chromic acid, Jones reagent, potassium permanganate. Okay? Those are all strong oxidizing agent. Take note ninyo, strong oxidizing agent. Now, let's have the general reaction. Okay? Ano yung product kapag na-oxidize yung primary alcohol or na-oxidize yung secondary alcohol. Okay? So, general reaction, let's start first with primary alcohol. Okay? For primary alcohol, upon oxidation, say for example, you use the strong oxidizing agent, potassium dichromate in the presence of sulfuric acid. Okay? What will happen upon oxidation is this carbon, lahi na lang ang color, this carbon bearing the OH, okay, it will be deprotonated. Okay? Ibig sabihin, itong part, okay, ng OH, okay, it will be deprotonated. Deprotonated, tang-tang, ang hydrogen. Okay? This carbon will simultaneously be oxidized, kani nga carbon. It will be simultaneously be oxidized to form carbonyl. Unsa kay form sa carbonyl? Carbon, double bond, oxygen. So how to form that carbonyl? Okay? Unsay ingon nato sa oxidation? Addition of oxygen, remove hydrogen. Simultaneous dapat na siya. Ibig sabihin, we have to remove a hydrogen. Okay? Then that's the time you add oxygen via forming the second bond towards oxygen. Okay? Again, oxidation man, removal of hydrogen. Di ba? Pag deprotonation, okay, unstabilize ang oxygen. Okay? Padayon, oxidation, remove hydrogen in that alpha carbon, then add oxygen via forming the second bond towards oxygen. Okay? With that, ang na-form is RCOH. Okay? And that is aldehyde. Di ba? R, C, H, then double bond O. Okay? So aldehyde ang intermediate, initial product. Okay? Upon oxidation of primary alcohol using chromic acid. Okay? Ingon ko intermediate product pa siya. Kung yung tag-intermediate product, initial product, dili pa siya ang final product. Okay? Nganong dili pa siya ang final product? It is because, what did I told you about aldehyde? I mean, alcohol or any alpha carbon, ma-oxidize na sila if na ay available hydrogen attached to the alpha carbon. That is highly oxidizable. Okay? So the reaction will proceed. Intermediate pa ni siya. Okay? The reaction will proceed. It will be further oxidized to form the final product. Okay? It will proceed to form the final product, which is carboxylic acid. So what will happen to hydrogen here? It will be hydroxylized. Recall, hydroxylation is another, it is a specific example of oxidation process. Hydroxylation. Diba? You simply hydroxylize that in a form of OH. Okay? That is why it will form the final product, carboxylic acid. So, inyuhang dumduman ani, primary alcohols, kung i-undergo siya oxidation using strong oxidizing agent, strong man, padayon gyud ang reaction hantud ma-produce ang final product. Dili siya mo stop lang until aldehyde. Kay strong oxidizing agent man, ma-produce gyud nato ang pinaka-final, pinaka-hinog nga product ng oxidation of primary alcohol, and that is carboxylic acid. Balik ko na to ha, primary alcohol, pag na-oxidize siya, deprotonate the hydrogen sa functional group, remove one hydrogen from the alpha carbon, then add oxygen via adding a double bond towards oxygen, forming an aldehyde. Aldehyde will be further oxidized to form carboxylic acid. Okay. So, again, take note, this happens if strong oxidizing agent ang ginamit. Now, in the laboratory experiment, kung nag-face-to-face gid nga klase, no, if this is performed in the laboratory, gitest ninyo kung primary alcohol ba gyud ni siya sa sample, ang visible result, okay, nga na-oxidize yun ang primary alcohol into its carboxylic acid form is ma-change siya into color green. From colorless, ma-change siya into color green. Okay? So, ano sa? Sige, proceed ta. Now, ang oxidation ng oxidation kaya po ng primary alcohol, ha? Oxidation of primary alcohol, kung ato ang desired nga product is until aldehyde lang, pwede makontrol na to ang reaction. How? Instead of using a strong oxidizing agent, it can be controlled. Okay? You simply replace the oxidant into a weaker one. Okay, example, PCC. PCC, it is pyridinium. Hindi na ako isulat ha. PCC, that stands for pyridinium chlorochromate. Okay. Another weak oxidant is DMP, Des Martin per iodinane. Okay? So, usually mga abbreviation lang ang fill in, gina-incorporate sa reaction. Taas na kaayo kung isulat pa ni siya no sa reaction, no sa arrow, no. Sulat pa na siya taas na kaayo. So usually gina-write siya as abbreviated one, shortened ba PCC, DMP. So kung kana inyong nakita nga oxidant in oxidizing an alcohol, a primary alcohol is to be specific, then the product is only ethyl aldehyde because this is a weak oxidizing agent. Okay, so dito ra siya taman sa aldehyde. So example, ana. Okay, get change into PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate, yung oxidant ay weaker oxidant. So what will happen to primary alcohol? It only produces aldehyde. It is only oxidized to its aldehyde form. Sige, okay na ta sa primary alcohol. Let's have the secondary alcohol. So ito yon, dark green, visible result. Okay. Next, for secondary alcohol, secondary alcohol ni siya. You know already ha, kano sa siya secondary, kano sa siya primary. Okay? So sa secondary alcohol, as observed, di ba, isa na lang ang hydrogen remaining, okay, attached to the alpha carbon. Okay? Yung secondary alcohol, they're oxidized to form ketone. Okay? They are being oxidized ketone. And this is the final product, the major product, oxidation of secondary alcohol. So paano? How is it oxidized? The same mechanism with the oxidation of primary alcohol. Okay? So yung OH nga part, deprotonate. Ingatan lang gihapon. Deprotonate, tangtang ang hydrogen. Pag tangtang ni mo na sa hydrogen, ma-unstabilize ang oxygen. Okay? Para mabalik yung stability, oxidation, ano sabi, remove hydrogen, then form, add oxygen. Okay? Adding oxygen and simultaneously removing the available hydrogen. Dili ka pwede magkuha sa hydrogen diri sa mga beta carbon ha. Pag mo yung oxidation kato sa active site, the active site is carbon. So katurang mga naka-attach sa iya ang involved sa reaction. Ayaw pagunghag hydrogen diri kanang sa mga kilid-kilid nga carbon. Dili man siya ang gahawid sa functional group. Okay? Wala siya ang direct attachment sa functional group. The reactive site is yung mismong gahawid sa ga-carry sa functional group. Okay? So ito yon, ketone. Okay? Deprotonation of hydrogen, remove, okay, the remaining hydrogen ng alpha carbon, and then simultaneously add oxygen. Okay? So, sorry. So, may ma-erase. Okay. Sige. So, the same lang ang yahang mechanism with the primary. Different ang product. Okay? So, with regards to visible result, kung i-perform gihapon na siya sa laboratory, na kay test tube, ang component anang test tube na ay secondary alcohol. Okay? Upon adding a strong oxidizing agent, ang visible result is dark green gihapon. Okay? Dark green. Okay? So, yan yung positive result nga okay, no? Na oxidize yun ang alcohol. Okay? Ganong green, unsa dining timailan sa green mo na siya ang oxidized form ma'am sa alcohol? No. Kanang green, that represents the color of reduced oxidizing agent. Okay? Kung inyuhang madumduman ng ato ang PChem, dichromate is color orange. Dichromate. Ang chromate color yellow. Dichromate orange. Once ma-reduced, okay, ang dichromate, that forms, okay, a that produces a green, no? Green coloration. Okay, sa sample. So siya ang na-reduce. Okay? Ang na-oxidize ang alcohol. Okay? Remember, kung oxidation, kaakibat na niya ang reduction reaction. Okay? Sige. So done with primary, secondary alcohol. Primary, final product, carboxylic acid, if strong oxidant. Secondary alcohol, final product, ketone. Okay, oxidation. Then again, for tertiary alcohols, they are resistant, ha? They are resistant to, erase, to oxidation. Okay, whatever oxidizing ka na pang pinaka best nga oxidized, strong oxidizing agent, walay reaction sa tertiary alcohol. Okay? Why? Because they have no more available hydrogen atoms attached to the carbon bearing the OH. Okay? Wala na siya available hydrogen, so di na siya oxidizable. Okay, so done with oxidation. So let's have the following example. Okay, so number one, you have to identify first what class of alcohol, no? Para ma-predict nimo kung naabay product or unsa ang product, i-identify sa unsa siya nga classification of alcohol. Ang naaray product, primary o secondary. So, pangitaon nimo ang carbon bearing the OH. Iha pa pila ang iyahang R group, isa lang. Obvious man kay naa pa siya duha ka hydrogen. So that is a primary alcohol. Possible ang oxidation. Sabi din ang gi-provide nga oxidant PCC. Tell me, what is the final product kapag PCC? Primary alcohol, oxidant is PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate. Are you sure? Aldehyde. Okay, very good. Aldehyde. So what will happen? Okay, deprotonate, then remove. Oh, you can start with add. Add oxygen, remove hydrogen. So sulat na nimo. Pwede ra ka diretso CH3, di ba mo ni? Mo ni nga part CH3. Okay? Then CH double bond. Oh, sumara na siya. Okay? Or you can have CH3, C double bond O, then, so it's up to you. Aso nga sakto. No? Sakto ang answer. Okay, next. Number 2. So what is the class of alcohol first? So this is the carbon bearing the OH, yung R group, 1, 2. Secondary alcohol siya. So meaning, naana siya imaginary. Tulo raman ni ka bond, 1, 2, 3. So nani siya imaginary hydrogen. Since napa siya available nga hydrogen, capable ang oxidation. Okay, reaction. So kopyahon na nimo tibuok nga ring. Okay? So let's say, okay, so ana na lang. Pasensya na lang sa drawing. So this part is the carbon, okay, that will be oxidized into ketone. Okay? Diba? Ano naman? Deprotonate, okay, remove hydrogen simultaneously adding oxygen. Okay? Sulat lang kag double bond towards oxygen. Okay? Sige, ana. Ayan. Okay. So that is the final product. Kay secondary alcohol naman na. Muna na siya. Ang final product, ketone. Diba? That is a ketone. Next. Carbon bearing the OH. What is this alcohol? Primary. Maklaro naman. Isa naman ika-bond towards an R group. Okay? Muna yung second bond towards the functional group. So na siya imaginary nga duha ka hydrogen. So this is obviously primary alcohol. Okay? So that primary alcohol, using PCC, the final product is an aldehyde. Okay? So kukopyahan at tanan, gikan then, okay. So dili lang dayon mag-change. Okay? So, deprotonate, simultaneously adding oxygen, okay, upon removal of one hydrogen. So, ano lang. Okay. So, pwede raan na. Okay. Kaya imaginary man ang hydrogen. So, that is an aldehyde. No? Imaginary ang isa ka hydrogen. Okay, next. Tell me, what is this classification of alcohol? Primary, secondary, tertiary? It is, very good, tertiary. Okay? Therefore, no reaction. Ano lang, no reaction. Okay? Walay reaction, walay product. Basta tertiary, gi-oxidize, basic yung unsa pa na yung giadra, no reaction, no product. Di na siya mo oxidize. Ngayon dumduman, okay? Next. Carbon, bearing the OH, na pa siya isa ka-available, no? Nga hydrogen, so capable siya mag-proceed og oxidation. This is a secondary, no? Secondary alcohol. Isa raman ang nabilin nga hydrogen. Okay? So, what will happen? Deprotonate, remove the remaining, no? Simultaneously remove the remaining hydrogen, then add oxygen via adding the second bond towards oxygen. So, CH3, C double bond O, then CH3. So, ano lang? And that is ketone. Diba? Okay, so those are examples, no? Examples of oxidation of alcohols. So to wrap up, again, kapag strong oxidizing agent, okay, for primary alcohol, the final product is carboxylic acid. For primary alcohol oxidized using weak oxidant, the product is only until aldehyde. For secondary alcohol, any oxidants, okay, gi-oxidize ng secondary alcohol, the final product is diretso ketone. Okay? Sorry. Thank you for that. Okay, wala ko kabantay. Okay? Na double bond. Okay, so careful mo. Kopyaha gyud tanan part sa number 3. Naa na siya double bond mo siya. Kopyaha gyud tanan part no sa structure. Dito ra gyud ma-change. Ang reaction mahitarbo ra gyud dito sa functional group. Katong involved sa reaction. Alright? Sige. What if this one, i-change na to ni PCC. Change na to siya to a strong oxidizing agent, chromic acid. Okay? So what will happen from aldehyde, okay, it will proceed, no? Dapat ang inyong yung final product na ma-present is carboxylic acid form. So what will happen, di ba? Katong H, himua lang siya OH. Hydroxylation lang. Okay? Kana nga part, OH. Carboxylic acid na yan. Okay? Kana. So you can have this, then padaraan na OH. Then complete the structure. Okay? So diri ra siya nag-change. So ana lang. Okay? Sige, done with oxidation. Sige, let's proceed to maura na siya ha. Sige. Let's have the second type of reaction of alcohols. So this is termed as dehydration. Okay. So dehydration, well, common sense, dehydrate, natay gina-remove ani. We are removing here water. Dehydrate. Diba? Remove water. So opposite siya ng hydration. This time we are removing water. Okay. Now, for this reaction to occur, kailangan nato og dehydrating agent. Okay, dehydrating agent is needed. And the most common dehydrating agent is sulfuric acid, the concentrated sulfuric acid in the presence of extreme heat. That is the reagent na kailangan natin to dehydrate para muugag yun, ma-evaporate yun ang water, matangtang yun ang water. Okay. Now, in general, dehydration of alcohols occurs at the functional group OH. In general, no? Aside from that, it also involves the hydrogen that is attached to the beta carbon. So, mo na siya ako ang giingon sa inyo, ha. This is an example of a reaction nga ga-involve sa hydrogen that is attached to the beta carbon. Okay? So, kabalo na mo ha, unsay beta carbon, example again. Sige, example atong patasaan, si propanol. Beta carbon is the carbon next to alpha. So naatay sa kaning reaction, aside from ga-involve aning OH, it also involves the hydrogen that is attached to the beta carbon. Okay, let's try to observe what happens. Okay. Okay, now pinaka-simplest na example ako ihatag sa inyo para dali ra masabtan ay dayon ang mas complex nga example. So pinaka-simplest dehydration reaction, it occurs sa primary alcohol. Okay? Again, simplest dehydration reaction, it occurs sa mong primary alcohol. Why? Muna yung dumduman. Basta primary alcohol, i-undergo og dehydration, the product, okay, is always a terminal alkene. Kung may yung terminal alkene, ang double bond makita sa terminal part, meaning sa carbon 1. So, ana. Okay? Again, when you say dehydration of primary alcohol, the final product is terminal alkene. Terminal alkene, the double bond is found on the terminal side of the compound. Meaning, located at carbon 1. Naman sa terminal part. Okay? Now, for example, in dehydration of ethanol, ethanol is a primary alcohol, di ba? Obvious man. This is an example of primary alcohol. In order to produce ethene, okay, kay alkene man ang iyang final product. So from ethanol, dapat makaproduce ng ethene. I-transpose, ato lang siyang i-convert into its alkene form. So mo ingon tag pentanol, gi-dehydrate, pentene dapat ang final product. Excuse me. Okay? So what will happen, okay, para ma-produce ang alkene, which is ethene, okay, one of the lone pair, okay, of oxygen, okay, one of the lone pair electron of oxygen here will pick up hydrogen ion from sulfuric acid. Okay, it will pick up, it will accept, okay, it will be protonated. Mayroon kag protonated na ay ma-add sa iya nga proton, H+. Okay? So this is actually sulfuric acid. So never mind na lang the complex structure. Basta una-una lang nga, kaning oxygen, it will pick up. Di ba na siya lone pair? Okay, kung inyo i-draw ang Lewis structure good, then na ay oxygen na siya lone pair. Two lone pairs. Okay? One lone pair niya will, okay, pick up hydrogen ion from sulfuric acid. So naman, hydrogen ion from sulfuric acid. So ma-protonate siya. Meaning, kung ma-protonate siya, imagine na-protonate. Look at this part. Okay? Na-protonate. That actually forms water. That will lose, okay, in the structure of ethanol in a form of water. That is the dehydration part. Diba this is water, H2O. That is stable, pwede na siya ma-remove sa structure ng alcohol. Pag remove what will happen to this carbon? It will form a carbo-cation. Unstabilize siya. Okay? Unstabilize siya. Now, in order to form alkene, okay, para ma-stabilize ka ng carbo-cation, diri na dahil mo sulod. Okay? Ang role ni beta carbon. Pakabalo na mo ha, unsa ang beta carbon? Ang carbon sunod sa alpha carbon. It will remove one hydrogen ion. Mo na iyang role sa beta carbon. Okay? It will try to remove one hydrogen na siya. Itong mag-erase ko ha. Amo ni siya, di ba? CH3, so gipakita. We'll try to remove that one hydrogen ion, okay? Which is equivalent to the electron from this bond, okay? Okay? Para maka-form siya og double bond. Stabilizing, therefore, the carbocation. Okay? Once mag-form na siya bond dira, okay? Kay unstabilized man siya, nag-remove ka og hydrogen, pag-form na, stable na. Okay? Stable na ang compound. Let's try to check. Muna siya, CH2, double bond, CH2. Muna siya, oh. Muna siya. Okay? That is alkene. And that is ethene, di ba? CH2, CH2, that is ethene. Okay? And this is a terminal alkene. Okay? Sige, let's have another example. Let's say atong patason. CH3. Then let's have sige na, branch. Okay? Sige, Cl ang branch. Okay, then CH. Then, let's say, nanadiri ang alcohol. Okay? So, this is a primary alcohol, di ba? Primary alcohol na siya. Yung carbon bearing the OH, napa siya duha ka hydrogen. Sige, what will happen? Dehydration. Kaning OH nga part, ma-protonate. Ana lang, ma-protonate siya. Meaning, pag protonate, ma-remove na siya. Ma-remove yun na siya. Kaya pag protonate, water naman na. Okay? Ma-remove na siya in a form of water. So yun, na-remove ang water. So kana na lang nabilin. Unsay ingon nako unsay sunod nga mag-contribute sa reaction? Beta carbon. Kung kani ang alpha carbon, sabutable naman ang alpha carbon, no? Okay? Ang sunod ana, okay? Muna siyang beta carbon. Okay? So mag-participate siya. How? Mag-remove siya og one hydrogen. Pag-remove niya og one hydrogen, di ba carbocation na ni? Okay? Pag-remove niya ana, okay? It will form a new bond, no, equivalent to that electron, okay, nga unstabilized nga nagpaka-carbocation kay alpha carbon. Okay? So ano yang nahitabo? CH3 carbon, diba na siya H, okay? Then CH2, so let's say na-remove na ni. Okay, na-remove na. Okay. Mag-contribute si beta carbon. Mag-contribute siya. So, ato erase. How it will, diba, oy, kadali lang. Ayan. Erase niya ang one hydrogen. Okay. Forming a new bond. Para po ma-stabilize ning. Kaganina, carbocation, di ba ni siya? Unstable siya. Okay. Pag-remove ni mo atong hydrogen, okay, equivalent to siya sa another bond. Okay? Another bond. Forming an alkene. So, ana lang. Okay? So, this is already stable. Pang-irisa na siya. Stable na siya. No? Carbon, na siya duha ka bond towards hydrogen. Then, napagod siya equivalent 2 bonds. So, 4 na. Okay? The same with this carbon. Stable po siya. Diba? 4 na bond. So, just follow the mechanism. Ma-protonate ang OH, mag-contribute ang beta carbon. Mag-remove siya one hydrogen. Kuan din ka mo, connect din ka og new bond towards the alpha carbon. Towards the alpha, gud ha, dili ka mapadulong sa pikas nga carbon. Towards the alpha carbon, gud ang formation ng new bond. Kay ang unstable, di ba, is si alpha carbon. Dito ka mo connect kay alpha carbon na unstable man siya kay nag-remove man kag OH. Okay? So that happens during dehydration ng primary alcohol. Okay? Paano naman pag secondary, tertiary? So okay na siya, alkene. So let me erase first this part. Okay? Paano naman pag secondary, tertiary alcohol? For secondary and tertiary alcohol, somehow medyo slightly difficult no, to predict the product, okay, ng dehydration reaction because if you try to imagine, ang secondary, tertiary alcohol, na siya more than one number of beta carbon, hindi lang isa. yung beta carbon ng secondary, tertiary alcohol. Okay? So with that, ang dehydration reaction ng secondary and tertiary alcohol must follow the rule, Zaitsev's rule. Okay, Zaitsev's rule. Okay, what is this? It states that yung alkene of greatest amount, it is the one that corresponds to the removal of hydrogen from the beta carbon having the fewest hydrogen substituents. So, pasabot. Let me draw a secondary, okay, alcohol for instance. Example, let's have CH3, then yan, CH2CH, sige, dire nato ibutang ang double bond. Then CH, then CH3. Check sa nato ha kung tama ang number of bonds. Okay. Sige. So this is 2-pentene. Diba? This is 2-pen. This is, dili dapat alkene. Alcohol dapat. No? Diretso naman ta sa product. Okay, mali. Dito sa secondary alcohol. Okay? Dudugagan ako og ayan. CH, then CH2. So let's say, dire. Ang OH. Okay? Then, ayan. Check na to ha. CH3, CH2, then CH na lang. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, CH2. Okay, so this is 3-hexanol. Tama? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is 3-hexanol. If you try to classify its type of alcohol, this is a secondary alcohol. Okay, so let's have a tertiary one. A tertiary, the same lang gihapon, butangan lang nato o branch. Okay. Okay. Ayan. Then OH. Yan, CH2. Then CH3. So this is a tertiary alcohol. Primary, secondary, tertiary alcohol, they all undergo dehydration. Okay. For secondary alcohol, what happens here, in order for you to predict the product of dehydration reaction, ang mahitabo, dili nato ma-compare kay pag-abot, diba? This is the alpha. Diba? This is the alpha carbon. Okay, alpha carbon na siya bearing the functional group. Ang beta, unsa ako ingon sa beta? Ang sunod nga carbon sa alpha, those are beta. So this is the beta carbon and the other one is also a beta carbon. But look at the number of hydrogen, 2, 2. So di na to ma-compare. Butangan na ako og substituent ang pikas. Para ma-compare lang ba? Okay, dili pariha, para dili pariha ilahang number of hydrogen. Okay. Let's say butangan na ako ni siyang branch deri. Okay. Cl. Okay. So this time, unequal, no, ang number of hydrogen sa both beta carbon. Again, ha, this is beta carbon. Ayan. Again, this is the beta carbon. This is also a beta carbon. Okay. Nara ang alpha carrying the OH. I hope inyong nakuha ha. Alpha carbon ang ga-carry sa functional group, ang niabay, ang direct nga bonded, okay? Ang carbon nga directly bonded sa alpha carbon, that is the beta. For secondary alcohol, duha gyud ang beta carbon. Now, in order for you to predict, no, kinsa ani sa beta carbon ang mag-sacrifice, mag-remove og isa ka hydrogen. Unsa ingon sa Zaitsev's? Okay? Ingon sa Zaitsev's rule, dito daw ta mag-remove og hydrogen sa beta carbon nga greatest or fewest, highest or fewest number of hydrogen substituent. Unsa giingon? Di na ako ikon ha, ikon kay ma-erase man ni kung ako i-back. Very good. Sabi doon sa notes ninyo, fewest number of substituent. Tell me, sa right or left nga beta carbon, right or left beta carbon? Very good. Sa right, beta carbon siya ang mag-sacrifice og hydrogen. Okay? Siya ang mag-remove og hydrogen. After removal of hydrogen, di ba, mo connect siya og bond towards alpha. Dumdumi ha. Pag remove og hydrogen, dito siya padulong sa alpha carbon nga bond. Okay, mag-form. Sige. So this would be the major product. CH3. Okay. CH2. Walay mahitabo sa iya ha. Kaning pikas nga beta carbon. Etong carbon na to, di ba, ma-protonate ni siya. Okay, ma-protonate with H+. So ma-remove ni siya nga part. Dehydration man. So muna siya ang water nga part ma-remove. Beta carbon on the right side, siya ang mag-sacrifice og, ayan, okay mo na siya. Eri siya, mag-sacrifice siya, iyang i-remove ang hydrogen, forming a new bond, then padayon. Okay, Cl, CH2, then CH3. Okay, kadali lang ha. Mo ni siya ang carbon, kulang pa ni siya og hydrogen. Siya naman siya hydrogen carbon bearing the hydrogen. Tarungon akong sulat ha. Okay. O, mo ni siya. Mo ni siya ang alpha carbon ganina. Okay, kung inyong i-observe. Mo na siya ang alpha carbon. Mo ni. Kanang naka-red. Okay, CH gapon siya. Di man mahilabtan niya hydrogen, di ba? Ang nahitabo lang sa iya is na-protonate ang yang OH. Then, diretso din ka sa beta carbon. Diretso ka sa beta carbon. Kung kinsa ang fewest number of hydrogen nga beta carbon, siya ang mag-remove. Dito ma-remove ang hydrogen, forming then a double bond. Okay? So, dapat i-follow ang Zaitsev's rule. Okay? Kasi according to that rule, you will produce the most substituted nga alkene. Okay? And according to that rule, ang most substituted nga alkene, that is considered the most stable, the most favored nga alkene product during dehydration reaction. Sige, let's have the tertiary one. This is the alpha carbon. So during dehydration, okay, let's say sulfuric acid, okay, in the presence of heat, dehydration. So what will happen to this OH? Protonate to tangtang. Okay, tangtang siya. Tertiary alcohol, pila ka buok ang beta carbon sa tertiary alcohols. If this is the alpha, so na siya tulo. So mo siya, very good. No, na siya 1, 2, 3 beta carbon. Okay? You have to compare. Asaan ang tulo ang least number of hydrogen, okay, for that beta carbon. So naiduha nga pareha, so either lang dira. Okay? Naiduha nga parehas 2, 2. So it's okay, depende ra sa inyo ha. Okay? But for me, kung ako ay ipa-decide, I would prefer to the left side. Kay mas duol siya sa terminal side. Okay? Mas duol siya sa terminal part. If this is carbon 1, carbon 2, 3. Okay, so it's up to you. Pwede ra gihapon. Basta kay i-follow niyo ang Zaitsev's. Okay, i-follow niyo ang Zaitsev's. Since duha ka beta carbon nga parehas ang number of hydrogen, then either lang sa ilaha. Ay, sorry, hala, na-erase na to. Okay, sige, ato siyang utruhon. Na-erase na to siya. Ambot, kung saan siya nga part sa PowerPoint, may eraser siya. Sige, balik ta ha. CH3. CH2, then sa carbon 3 to, no? OH, then CH3, then CH2, CH2, then CH3. Maman yun yata ni. Okay? So, what will happen? Madeprotonate ni siya nga part. Okay? Then, the formation of double bond is pwede diri nga side. Okay? Or here. It's up to you. Okay? So, one of the product is H. Then, isa na lang ka H. Double bond. with the third carbon, CH3 sa baba. Continue lang, CH2, CH2, then CH, na wala space. Okay, CH3 na siya. Nahutdan og space. Okay, truhon ako ha. Mora na siya CH3. Okay, double bond. Okay. CH2. Ayan. Okay. So, Zaitsev's rule. Okay, that will help you predict the product during dehydration of secondary and tertiary alcohol. Okay, no problem man sa primary. Now, sa primary alcohol, isa ra biya ang beta carbon. No problem, dito gyud. Siya ra gyud ang mag-remove og hydrogen, then forms a double bond towards the alpha carbon. Sige, let's have the examples. Okay. Ayan. Alright, sige. So, for number 1, you have a secondary, this is a secondary alcohol. Okay, obvious man. Yung alpha carbon, isa na lang ang hydrogen niya. Okay? So, if you predict the product, okay, the alkene that will be produced is CH3. So, walay mahitabuan ni. Beta carbon mangyapon ni. Beta carbon ni siya. Beta carbon. So, between the two, kani ang mag-remove og hydrogen. Isa lang. Okay? Isa lang ka hydrogen. CH3, then carbon, CH, then double bond, CH na lang dayon. Ito yung alpha. Ito yung beta carbon. Okay? Continue, CH2, CH3. Okay? What will be the name of the product? Okay? This is 2-pentene. Okay? 2-pentene. Okay, next. Number 2. This is 2-propanol. Okay, so upon dehydration, the alkene that will be formed is either lang, no? Pwede dere ang double bond or the other way around. Okay. So pwede ra. Or pwede sa Pika-Sky, if you try to check, if this is the alpha carbon, yung beta carbon, same lang naman yung number of hydrogens. Diba? Tag 3 naman. 3, 3. Okay? So dehydration again, number 3. So wala na ni. Okay? Ma-dehydrate man siya, that will becomes water. No? Na siya water. Okay, water. Okay, na-dehydrate man. Water. Remove. Water. So, kanina lang nabilin. Kanina part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ana. So, asa ang alkene? Okay, asa nato ibutang double bond? This is a primary. No? Primary alcohol ni siya. Karo man, kay isa raman ang R group na naka-attach. Okay? So, automatic, primary alcohol, di na naghihapon, no? Sa terminal. Terminal alkene ng atong product. Basta primary alcohol, automatic. Kung asa ang carbon 1, okay, asa ang carbon 1, asa ang alpha carbon, dito rapod. Okay, in between beta and alpha carbon ang double bond. Okay. Sige. Okay, next. Number 4, tertiary. So this is a tertiary alcohol. So as observed, ang beta carbon 1, 2, 3, ma-compare na to asa ang fewest number of hydrogen. So ito yung nasa left side kani siya. Okay, isa ra man niya ang hydrogen. The rest duha sa ubos tulo. So fewest number of hydrogen dito mahitabo ang removal sa hydrogen then formation of double bond. Okay, so CH3 carbon double bond. Okay. Then okay. CH3, then continue lang. Okay. You name ha, you try to name the following. Okay, para ma-practice po ninyo ang naming. Okay. Kaya sa Google form, kay dili biya mo makadraw. Predict the product. Predict the product per you have to name the product. What is the product? Okay, 2-pentene. Okay. Pwede man mo maka-insert og drawing. Okay, sa Google Forms. So, you practice na po the naming. Sa'yo naman ang naming, alkene naman itanan, no? Sa dehydration reaction, alkene ra ang product. Okay? So, lastly, you have Another secondary alcohol. This is another secondary alcohol. No, imaginary lang yung hydrogen. Okay? So between this carbon and itong carbon na to, obviously, pinaka-fewest number of hydrogen is this one. Kaning dot, red dot. Kaya na siya isa ka imaginary hydrogen. Whereas kani tulo. No? Ayan. Okay? So, the bond, double bond must be in between this carbon. Ana dapat. Okay? So, try na to i-draw. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have bromo here. And, pwede na, diretso double bond. Okay? So, ano lang, skeletal. Then, water. Okay? So, that is for the reaction, dehydration reaction no, ng alcohols. Okay? So, done. So, ato i-wrap up ang sa dehydration ng alcohols, primary alcohol, terminal alkene ang product. Secondary and tertiary alcohol, you have to follow Side-Cef's rule, wherein in removing hydrogen sa beta carbon, didto ka mag-remove og hydrogen sa beta carbon nga fewest number of hydrogen substituents. Okay na taan na. Sige. Okay, next. Let's have this is another important reaction of alcohol. But this is much more appreciated if this is done in the laboratory. Kanang yung inyong i-actual test, no? Na amoy Lucas reagent, then naghatag pour mo og by drop sa sample ng alcohol, then makita din ninyo ang result, mas ma-appreciate ninyo siya nga test. Dili lang siya by theory unta. Okay? So, for this test, this is particularly used to differentiate, okay, secondary to tertiary. Okay, it differentiates tertiary and secondary alcohol. Okay, yan gina-differentiate ang tertiary and secondary alcohol from the primary alcohol. Okay, so magdepende ang ilahang reactivity with Lucas reagent based sa mismong reactivity ng alcohol. Okay, so the reaction specifically uses Lucas reagent. So what consists Lucas reagent? Lucas reagent, it is a mixture of concentrated HCl plus zinc chloride. Okay, this is the catalyst, zinc chloride. Okay, so in the reaction, what will happen? Okay, what will happen in the reaction? You have alcohol. It is being protonated. Okay, it is being protonated, yung alcohol. So, no problem with the term. No? Protonated, it will pick up hydrogen. It will be protonated. Okay? So, asa magikan? Syempre, gikan sa acid. Diba? Ang mag-donate og proton, it is the acid. Okay? Now, from that protonation ng OH, it will be removed. Okay? Basta kayo ma-protonate ang OH, it will be removed in a form of water. It will lose in the system in a form of water. Okay? Now, what will happen? What will replace the spot of OH here? Unsay mo puli dire? A nucleophile nga Cl. Okay? Yung Cl, nucleophile Cl, that will replace the OH. Okay? Forming RCl, diba this is alkyl chloride. Okay. Now, characteristics of alkyl chloride is that they are immiscible. Again, they are immiscible in so spelling man, miscible, ana. Okay. So, immiscible siya in this one, in water. Kaya di ba na byproduct ng water. So, pag react ana, na kay Lucas reagent, gimong pour sa alcohol, ang mahitabo, is dapat na ay layer or turbidity. Layer or turbidity nga mahitabo sa test tube. That is an indicator nga na-produce ang alkyl chloride. Kasi nga, alkyl chloride is immiscible in water. So, common sense, kung immiscible, dili gyud ma-mix. So, kung dili ma-mix, unsa may characteristic nga atong pagka-describe ana kung dili ma-mix? It forms layer, there is turbidity, diba? Dili gyud homogeneous ang product no sa test tube. However, itong formation ng turbidity, formation of layering, okay, due to the alkyl chloride, presence of alkyl chloride, very dependent ni siya no on the reactivity of alcohol. Okay? So dili tanan alcohol mo form og alkyl chloride upon adding Lucas reagent. Magdepende gyapon how reactive that alcohol towards Lucas reagent, towards forming alkyl chloride. Okay? Now, among the three classes of alcohol, diba, we have primary, secondary, tertiary. Tertiary alcohol is considered most reactive towards Lucas reagent. Okay? Ang pasabot ani, kung tertiary ni siya, tertiary alcohol, okay, butang nimo, kay test tube, nagbutang kag tertiary alcohol. Any tertiary alcohol, nag-add ka og Lucas reagent. Sa component sa Lucas reagent, concentrated HCl, zinc chloride. So, ang mahitabo, with tertiary alcohol, pas-pas kaayo ang reaction. Meaning to say, pag drops, yun mo mga 1 or 2 drops, okay, sa Lucas reagent, pas-pas kaayo ang appearance sa layer, pas-pas kayo ang appearance sa turbidity. Meaning to say, very reactive yun si tertiary alcohol with Lucas reagent. But with primary alcohol, least reactive or not at all good. As in, it gives no reaction at room temperature. No sign of turbidity, no sign of layering. Okay? Sa test tube, wala. Okay? Not reactive siya to Lucas reagent. Or kung mo yung tagnaa, sige, kung mo yung tagnaa, perti ka dugay, like maabtan pag mga 1 day, 2 days, ay ka magka-turbid, pero dili ka nga naka-significant, ihang turbidity ka ma-form. So, it is considered non-reactive. Okay? In short, ang primary alcohol towards Lucas reagent. Okay? So, asa man di ay ni mag-base ang reactivity ng alcohol towards Lucas reagent? It is based on the ease formation of the corresponding carbocation. Ang kapaspasun sa alcohol nga na mag-form og carbocation. Okay? And it is the tertiary alcohol that forms more stable carbocation. Okay? Nga naman. Yeah, let's try to unsa ba di ay? Ayan. Okay? So let's try to analyze. Let's say for example, diba, this is example a tertiary alcohol. Diba pag tertiary alcohol na akay 3R groups. Tama? 3R groups naka-attach sa carbon bearing the OH. Okay? As observed sa tertiary alcohol, the carbon bearing the OH, it is also rounded also by other carbons. Carbons. Therefore, ang dipole moment, okay? Polarity pattern ba? Ang dipole moment, it will have a straight direction towards oxygen tanan. Straight lang. Okay? Straight tanan. Di na magliko-liko, di na mo hunong-hunong, straight lang, padulong kay oxygen because this is an electronegative atom. Okay? Therefore, given this idea, kung ang dipole moment going straight to oxygen, kumusta ang bond between carbon and oxygen here? Okay? Kumusta? So, meaning to say, dali ra siya ma-break. Okay? Dali ra ni siya ma-break ng bond. Okay? Kay mo pull man ang oxygen og straight, no? Straight siya mo pull og electrons from its bonded na mga carbon atoms. So, dali ra ma-form ang carbocation. Once matangtang na nga part, unstabilize yung carbon bearing the hydrogen. Okay, carbocation mo na siya. Na kay positive sign siya. Okay, carried by the alpha carbon. Okay, partially positive siya in that case. Okay, kung i-compare na nimo siya sa other nga classes of alcohol, you'll have a much more faster good here to form carbocation compared to the other, no? Compare with secondary, tertiary alcohol. Okay, sige. Oops. Ayan. So again ha, kung makakita kay kag reaction nga tertiary alcohol added with Lucas reagent, okay na ay product. So dahil man ang product, i-replace lang. Kaning OH, it will be removed. Okay, it will be removed in a form of water. Then, ang mupuli sa iya, Cl, forming alkyl chloride. So ano lang. Okay, so okay na ta na. Dire na ta sa reaction of alcohols. Okay, nga with the active metals. Okay, reaction of alcohols with the active metals. Okay, so this is the last. No, last nga reaction for alcohols. Now, sa reaction, okay, yung hydrogen atom ng hydroxyl, okay, that will be replaced. Okay, not replaced, that will be displaced, no, with an active metal. Kasi diba sabi dito, reaction ng alcohol with active metals. So, ang imong i-add, active metals. I-react nimo ang active metals sa given nga alcohol na nagkataon, sodium, magnesium, any metals, they are considered highly reactive, okay, compared to hydrogen. Therefore, ang buhaton anang metal, it will try to displace hydrogen. Okay? It will try to displace hydrogen. Okay? Then, mo replace dira si active metal. Okay? Asa mapadulong ang hydrogen? It will be displaced in a form of hydrogen gas. Diba? This is a gas. So, sa inyo sa ano po, sa experiment, kung i-perform po niyo siya sa laboratory, you have a sodium metal, nag-add ka og sodium metal sa alcohol. Okay, tas tube. Let's say, sige, let's say ethanol. No? Si ethanol, nag-add ka og sodium. Ang imuhang ma-observe, ana, okay, pagtagak nimo sa sodium metal, kung man siya, mura man siya tibugol, no? Sodium metal, pagtagak nimo, ana, okay, ang mahitabo, mag-bubbles. Okay? So, ano pag-drawing ang bubbles? Okay? Basta mag-bubbles siya. Na-formation sa bubbles. Okay? Sa mismong test tube. Yun, so, ang bubbles. Ana na lang ang bubbles. Basta ana. Okay? So, mag-bubble siya. Muna siyang indicator nga na-form ang gas, nga hydrogen gas. Meaning na-displace, na-sipa ni active metal ang hydrogen. Okay? Major product is the alkoxide. Okay? Alkoxide. Okay, this is very important ka chemical no nga needed for ether synthesis. So later ma-discuss na to ang ether synthesis. Sige. Okay. Ayan, Williamson. Ang tawag sa iya is Williamson reagent. Okay, Williamson reagent. The alkoxide ion. Okay. Now, talking about the displacement of hydrogen atom by the active metal, dependent din siya sa class of water, sa reactivity of, not water, sa reactivity ng alcohol. Magdepende. Okay? Ang pag-displacement sa hydrogen atom, magdepende sa reactivity of alcohol. And yung reactivity nila is based on the increase activity of alcohol to release hydrogen. Okay? Yung higher ability ng alcohol to remove hydrogen mo na siya ang atong basihan. To classify nga kana nga alcohol very highly reactive with, okay, will produce a reaction with active metals. Okay? So based on reactivity, pabaliktad naman siya dito kay kung i-compare sa katong kaganina, which is Lucas test. Okay? Kaganina, ang pinaka most reactive nga alcohol sa Lucas test tertiary. This time, most reactive, okay, nga alcohol sa active metals is the primary alcohol. Okay, most reactive siya towards active metal. Meaning, pagtagak yun, okay, sa sodium na rin kay makita nga visible result. Formation of gas na displace yun niya si water. Okay? But with tertiary alcohol, emotion i-react with active metals, wala kay makita nga bubbles. Meaning, wala na displace ang hydrogen kaning hydrogen with tertiary. Kasi siya yung least, no? Least reactive or not reactive at all. Okay? So what is the factor? Nganong si tertiary, least reactive siya to active metals. Unsa diya itong basihan? Natay two factors, no? That could decrease the ability of the OH to release its proton. Okay? Again, natay duha ka factor that could decrease the ability of this OH to release its hydrogen plus its proton. So number one, naman yata dire, okay. Ayan, two factors. Number one is the increased electron density of oxygen atom. Okay? Kapag increase ang electron density of oxygen atom, that will cause lesser ability of that alcohol to release its proton. Okay? So kung atong tawon again, di ba, tertiary, nga ang tertiary alcohol. Unsa ako ingon ganina? Dipole moment straight, no? Straight tanan. Asa padulong ang electron density? Padulong tanan kay oxygen. Okay? Oxygen. Okay? Dipole moment. With that increased electron density of oxygen, lesser yung ability to release that that proton, okay, sa OH. Okay. Ang mas matangtang na noon kani nga part, kani nga bond, uban gyud sa iya si hydrogen. Ang ato raman is kani ang pag-release sa proton, dili man ang pag-release sa OH. No, ang pag-release sa proton. So lesser ang capability ana ni tertiary. Another is the steric hindrance. So obvious naman, no, bulky kaayo. Mga bulky alkyl groups, na kay alkyl groups diri, napod kay alkyl groups, that could inhibit, no, solvation. That could inhibit or that could decrease the ability ng alcohol to donate proton. So these are the two factors, no, that decreases the ability ng alcohol, ability ng tertiary alcohol to release its proton. That's why siya ang least reactive. Then the rest, pinaka most reactive, primary, secondary will follow. Okay. So ma'am, unsa mo ibutang kung naay tertiary alcohol, let's say for example, tert butyl, no? Tert butyl alcohol. So this is a tertiary alcohol. Then added with magnesium. Okay. Simply write no reaction. Okay. Simply write no reaction. The same thing with Lucas reagent. Kinsay walay reaction sa Lucas reagent, si primary alcohol. So makikita kag primary alcohol ang given, then Lucas reagent, okay, Lucas reagent, no reaction. Okay, so yan ang pasabot nato. Ay, salamat. Okay, we're done with the the reaction, no, of alcohols. So naghatag naman tag mga problems, okay, ganina. So I will give this to you, no, practice lang ni practice ninyo og answer. Ang wala ta naghatag og problem is this one, no, sa Lucas reagent. Maklaro man ninyo Lucas reagent, concentrated HCl with acid catalyst zinc chloride. Okay? So mahitabo lang, this will be protonated. It will be removed in a form of water. Then, alkyl chloride lang dayon. Okay? But take note, you have to identify first if reactive ba yung mismong alcohol. Ano yung sabi natin sa Lucas reagent? Ang most reactive is tertiary. Tertiary alcohol followed by secondary. Now, this given alcohol is a primary. Tama? This is a primary alcohol. So, therefore, no reaction. So, ano lang? No reaction. So, careful gid mo kung mag-Lucas reagent, kung so itong isa, reaction of active metals. Kailangan sa gid niyo i-identify ang classification ng alcohol. Okay? Any question sa reaction ng alcohols?
None so far, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Let's have a 5 minutes break. Then we will proceed to the nomenclature. Dali na lang ang nomenclature. Okay? Familiar naman mo sa mga rules sa nomenclature. Ethers na lang o ketone na nomenclature. 5 minutes lang ha, kadali lang.